Standing before Yuji, holding Mahito sealed inside a black orb, Geto begins to explain maximum techniques. They are an innate technique's most powerful art outside of a domain expansion. Curse Spirit Manipulation Maximum Uzumaki combines the Curse Spirits in the user's possession to unleash a burst of super condensed cursed energy. Randomly, Geto begins to laugh. Yuji asks what's so funny, and the cursed user replies that he accidentally started acting like Suguru. Continuing on about Uzumaki, he explains the technique is powerful, but he initially believed it negated the great number of moves at the cursed manipulator's disposal. Geto admits he was wrong about Uzumaki, because when semi-grade 1 and higher curse spirits are utilized, their curse technique is extracted. Pretty much what he means is he's able to use any curse technique from a semi-grade 1 or higher and still use maximum meteor, using all of the other curses that remain as well, plus probably some of the power from that curse, I would imagine. But he won't lose like that ability of like idle transfiguration or like say any other ability that he might get in the past. Geto swallows the black orb containing Mahito, officially adding the special grade to his collection. While looking up, Geto tells Yuji it's foolish to think he wouldn't notice. Momo is floating above him on her broom, using a lantern as a signal for her allies to attack from long range. Keimo is the first to act, firing cursed energy infused arrows at the enemy. Geto avoids the arrows, but immediately notices a speeding bullet coming directly at him. However, he simply blocks Mai's bullets with a curse. As Miwa joins the fight, she recalls her past and how she met her mentor in junior high, deciding to become a jujutsu sorcerer despite having never even held a wooden sword. Miwa quickly slides in behind Geto and activates New Shadow Style, while recalling her blistered and bloodied hands. Miwa puts everything into the swing. She's prepared to never even use a sword again and attacks with Bato sword drawing. However, Geto simply catches the blade with his bare hands and shatters it. Immediately after negating Miwa's attack, Geto activates Maximum Uzumaki. With the technique having been divulged, Yuji knows about Uzumaki's power and yells for the curse user to stop. Momo also looks down and moves to save Miwa, but sadly, Uzumaki destroys the ground with a blast of super condensed cursed energy, leaving a gaping hole in the ground from the impact. However, the technique didn't actually hit anyone, and Geto admits that it's nice facing someone with experience rather than these students. Kugosabe was able to use his new shadow style to cancel out part of the curse technique and protect Miwa. At the same time, Panda arrives to the battlefield and checks on Yuji. He's relieved to see that Yuji is back in control of his body. He asks if the cursed user has the cursed object holding Satoru Gojo. Keimo asks who the cursed user is, and Panda can only say that it's a mysterious person that has assumed the identity of Suguru Geto by controlling his body. Suddenly, our boy, the other brother, Choso, arrives on the battlefield, surprising Yuji. Geto welcomes him, but our boy, in the middle of his I don't even know if you can call this a midlife crisis or curse crisis, you guys choose what one he completely is, he's a mix in my mind still, finally recognizes the curse user as one of his 3 parents. So yeah, this is kind of messed up, right man, for real. There is Choso's mother, the curse spirit, who got her pregnant, which is freaking weird, man, and the man who tormented Choso's mother to create the cursed womb death paintings. Choso hated this person, and now that person is inhabiting Suguru's body. This thing is no one other than the most evilest sorcerer in history, the prolific Noritoshi Keimo. Obviously, this is kind of confusing for those that are sitting there like, yo, wait, you say Noritoshi Keimo? That's that other dude. It even confuses the students here, so I don't blame you. Pretty much, this dude's just old as, man. Just think of it, he's from the past. He's an old Keimo. Urahime clears it up more that Choso is referring to the stain of the Keimo clan. Kusakabe believes that it makes sense for him to be someone with absurd barrier techniques, cursed objects, and the ability to switch bodies. Geto claims that Noritoshi Keimo is just one of the many names he's gone by, so possibly the dude could have even been far older than we even suspect at the moment, because we don't know where he started, where did the brain dude start from? Choso rushes at Noritoshi, however, Arume abruptly cuts him off, sliding next to Geto and telling the bottom feeder to step aside. Rough. Arume tells Choso not to make them wait any longer, but Choso replies for the curse user to get out of his way and repeats that he's Yuji's older brother. So yeah, it's finally explained here why he thinks that. A side effect of Choso's curse technique is that he can sense the transformation of his younger brothers through their blood connection. Just before finishing off Yuji in their fight earlier in Shibuya, Choso could feel the sensation of death coming from Yuji, just like he did with his other brothers. To Choso, this can only mean that Yuji is also his younger brother. By the way, I'm just calling Brain Dude, or Brain, or Noritoshi until we know his name. I'm not going to call him Kamo. I'll just call Kamo, so it doesn't get confusing. But yeah, Noritoshi has extended his life from moving from host to host, making it possible that Yuji and Choso could share some sort of blood relation. In order to fulfill his duty as an older brother, Choso was ready to protect Yuji with all his strength. Choso activates blood manipulation convergence, surprising Kamo with how superior it is to his own. Choso fires piercing blood, and it almost reaches Urume's face in the blink of an eye. The monk is surprised by the immense speed of piercing blood and barely manages to stop it. Geto sidesteps the attack while it drills a hole through one of his partner's cursed energy reinforced hands. Choso swings the stream of blood, sending the arrow back to slash at Noritoshi. This breaks up the ground, and Choso uses the blood he placed there to disrupt Geto's footing. They then engage each other by trading blows in close quarters. Noritoshi is the first to land a significant strike and suggests Choso shouldn't strain himself after fighting so much earlier on. Choso doesn't believe being tired is any excuse to stop putting his life on the line to protect his younger brother. Confused, Panda asks if Yuji is really related to Choso. Yuji doesn't believe they were related at all and reveals how Choso had nearly even killed him earlier, which is, like, what the fuck, man? Regardless of his relationship with Yuji, Noritoshi points out that Choso is creating a disturbance that they need to take advantage of. With two cores still going strong, Panda goes out in full guerrilla mode while the others follow behind him. He activates his unblockable drumming beat, but suddenly Urume activates their innate technique, Ice Formation. Urume uses Frost Calm to release an icy mist that freezes Choso, Noritoshi, Panda, and Kusakabe. Geto asks them not to kill the sorcerers because he needs messengers, and Urume heals his hand using a reversed curse technique, discouraging Kusakabe, who considers these curse users to be on a whole other level. Choso activates Flowing Red Scale to rapidly increase his body's temperature and melt the ice. Urume appears in front of Choso, but Yuji, one of the only ones who wasn't frozen, dropkicks Choso out of the ice to save him from Urume. Annoyed, the monk asks, who does the vessel think that body belongs to? Yuji believes that he wasn't frozen due to Sukuna and asks Choso what side he's on. Choso denies he's fighting with the sorcerers and states once again he's Yuji's older brother. He even asks Yuji to try calling him big brother just once, which reminds me obviously of Todo so hard, man. Yuji ignores this because he notices Momo flying down towards the group on her broom. Momo uses her wind scythe to launch a blade of cursed energy from her broom at the two cursed users. Urume is able to block this attack with their bare hands, frustrating Momo. With Yuji, Momo, and Choso the only ones still mobile, the Kyoto student tells the other two that they need to buy time for Utahime. Dissatisfied with needing a messenger as a reason for keeping this many sorcerers alive, Urume activates Ice Formation. They claim Yuji alone will be enough and creates a steam of icicles that surrounds both curse users and splits apart to freeze them. The flying ice bits attack and freeze Yuji, Choso, and Momo in place. A second wave of sharpened icicles attack them from above, pretty much cementing their deaths. Until a mysterious Shikigami suddenly appears to break the ice apart. The special grade sorcerer, Yuki, appears on the battlefield. She asks Geto the same question again from all those years ago, inquiring as to what kind of girls he's into. So, like, if you're wondering who Toto's taught by, it's Yuki. It's this chick here, the special grade sorcerer Yuki, the third one that we haven't actually properly met. The two sorcerers clash philosophies regarding the future of humanity's relationship with cursed energy. Yuki believes humans need to break away from cursed energy, while Geto believes optimizing it will bring about their evolution. However, the world Geto pursues would be full of bloodshed because Japan has a virtual monopoly on cursed energy. Something like that would cause the other world powers to retaliate and use humans as an energy source. Geto doesn't care if the world ends up that way. He believes there is more to the human potential beyond sorcerers and cursed spirits. He attempted to create the death paintings to bring that potential into existence. However, Geto has deemed that a failure and has since realized that anything he can create on his own does not exceed the bounds of his own personal potential. The answer he seeks is hidden within the darkness, and only the chaos that Noritoshi can't even control can bring it forth. He reveals that he's already extracted the curse technique he needs to begin this process. Yuki has a realization and asks what happened to Mahito, prompting Yuji to reveal that Geto had just absorbed him. The curse user remotely activates idol transfiguration on every human he's marked. He thanks Yuji for bringing out Mahito's full potential because his cursed energy stopped improving the moment it was absorbed. The two types of non-sorcerers have been marked prior to the remote casting of idol transfiguration. The first type are non-sorcerers who are meant to stay as such. but instead have awakened new curse techniques, much like Junpei. The second are vessels that ingested cursed objects like Yuji. Geto's plan is to release 1,000 malevolent sorcerers and get them to fight one another. Yuki doesn't believe 1,000 rational people would fight one another to death, but Geto assures her he wouldn't make any oversights. Annoyed, Yuki asks Yuji to help her beat up the imposter. Yuji can't move though due to the ice holding him, but Chosu's poisonous blood abruptly causes Orume to collapse down onto one knee and the ice suddenly starts melting. Before they move though, Geto declares the cursed objects he provided were created from the sorcerers he made vows with a millennia ago. However, those vows became null when he obtained Suguru Geto's body. Yuki understands the implications of this, just as Noritoshi announces that this is the world of the future. He shows the prison realm to his enemies and bids farewell to Yuji, claiming to expect a lot from him in the coming times. The young man calls out Gojo's name one last time, and Geto or Noritoshi or Brain or whatever finally addresses Sukuna directly. He tells the King of Curses that an era reflecting the Heian era is coming, and that the golden age of jujutsu is returning.